Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today's video will be about building a storage area up in the loft, and we want to obviously use insulation inside just because we don't want to create a cold spot. The reason of making this video is because in the past in UK I've been asked by a few people, how they can insulate the loft, but at the same time they want to be able to store things, to walk in the loft and so on. So I think this will be a good example of what you can do, or at least give you an idea of what you can do. Obviously houses are different, so whatever works for one house might not work for the other, but I think this will be a very good example of doing something like that. So having your loft insulated, but at the same time having it that you can still walk on it, or you can still store things on it, because we all know we like to store things up in the loft. Even if I try myself to don't store many things in the loft, because you will end up having a lot of stuff there that you probably won't be using them. So I will show you now how to do it, and I will talk you through, and I hope this will be helpful for some of you. So yeah, enjoy the video and see you later. In here you can see me creating the external frame, which I made from 8x1 or 200mm by 25mm timber. So I made it in small timber because it was resting against these big beams and wide beams, and also I have used timber that I had in the house from when the house been built, and obviously from different projects in the house. I didn't want to spend too much money on this timber, because at the end of the day this is not something that has to be very fancy, or it has to be, you know, looking very pretty. It just have to be a storage area where you can store things. You will see that the timber wasn't even enough. I did try to buy some more, but the delivery didn't come, so I have to use what I had in the house. Even if some people will say that most of the lofts in UK are, let's say, boarded and they have insulation inside, in my opinion that is not good enough. I mean, the best that you will have is 10-15 centimeters of insulation under that plywood or whatever you will have in the loft. So ideally you will want to have a minimum of 25 centimeters of insulation in the loft, or in my case I will have 40 centimeters of insulation. So I think you know, you have to have as much as possible. So at the moment when you're buying a house in UK, that you'll probably have 10-15 centimeters of insulation up in your loft. So yeah, doing this kind of platform, that's going to allow us to put more insulation inside and still have it boarded, so we can still store things or walk into the actually loft. In here you can see me fixing the timbers, fixing the 8x2s in place. So the frame it's made from 8x1, and the timbers in betweens will be 8x2s. So I will leave 59 centimeters in between the timbers, because insulation is 1200 and I just want to cut it in half and fix it straight in. Okay, so I managed to finish the frame. I did find some more 8x1. I had one length left, about 4.2 meters. So I managed to finish all the frame. The only part that is missing is here, is about 2 inches or 5 centimeters, but that should be fine. Obviously that's not a problem. Like I said, it doesn't have to be very pretty, because this is just a storage in the loft. So now I'm just gonna place the insulation in between the timbers. I will cut it in half, like I said, and just place it in between the timbers, and then I will measure from that timber to the middle of this timber, and then from the middle of this timber to the middle of this timber, and then I will take knots. I will also measure the length, and I will cut the OSB down and just bring it up ready to be installed, because obviously there's no space to bring the sheet in here, and I don't want to do too much cuttings in here, so I'll do most of the cuttings downstairs, and then just install the OSB. So now I'm just going to place the camera down and I will show you how I'm going to do with the insulation, and then I will show you how I'm cutting the OSB and how I will install the OSB. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now how the insulation is supposed to be installed. So it has to be on its full size. So if the insulation is 200, it has to be 200. You don't want to press it down, because it won't be as effective as if it will be at 200. So you want to make sure that you don't have to press it and squeeze it and twist it and anything like that. You just have to let it sit there by its own. You want to cut it so it's 1 or 2 centimeters bigger. You don't want it to be too big, and press it in. You can see me here using the tape measure and a marker and just marking the insulation in the middle, doing a line, a 30-40 centimeter line, and then follow that line with the handsaw and cut the insulation down in the middle, nice and straight. I will take the camera up close and I will show you a nice clean cut down in the middle. So this is what we want, especially if we only left 1 or 2 centimeters. So especially if we left the insulation 1 or 2 centimeters bigger, this is what we want. In here you can see the insulation complete. So I did the insulation everywhere in the frame, obviously, and now all we have to do is to cut the OSB, 15mm OSB on this occasion, and just screw it down with screws. For screws I was using screws that are 5mm in diameter and 50mm in length. Okay guys, this is the storage area complete. Insulation inside, so this way there won't be any cold spot. I had a few questions in the past about this type of storage, so because I did it in my own place, I thought it's a good idea to have it filmed, so maybe someone can look at it in the future, and yeah, maybe it will come handy. So I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video, and I'll see you next time with a different video. So goodbye for now.